Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I begin in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Just checked out of my weekend hotel here at the Cortland Grand Hotel. I'm heading back to Florida today, but along the way, I'm gonna see some things. Howdy everyone, I'm Tampa J. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today I'm heading back to Florida. I have a Frontier Airlines flight booked at the Hartford-Jackson International Airport, the Atlanta airport. That's where I flew into on Friday. Took a train to get down to the convention this weekend. I'm gonna take a train back to the airport. And along the way, there is a museum. It's the Delta Flight Museum, the history of Delta Airlines. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. And on this trip, I have some time to kill before I fly out. I'm leaving the convention I was at this morning, Days of the Dead. And I have some time to kill before my Frontier flight tonight. So I decided to stop off and check out this attraction. Should be pretty fun. I'm a huge fan of Delta Airlines. It's one of my favorite airlines to fly. I don't always have the choice to fly that. So here we go. That's gonna be the video. This is my experience getting to the flight museum and then flying out and back home to Florida. There's much ahead and much above. That is the GP building. GP, what's that stand for? Georgia something, maybe? GP? I've got the directions on my phone. I got a little ways to walk to the Marta Center. The Marta is the train system right here in Atlanta. Taken it many times over the years, specifically to get to Dragon Con, an epic convention that happens every Labor Day weekend. Always riding the Marta. A very cost-effective way to get from downtown to the airport. $3.50. And I'm entering the Marta over here. There's a station right there. This is called the Hotel District here in Atlanta. Imagine it a hot dog. That's a cool billboard. I've got my Breeze card, my Marta card, ready to reload. Only got one trip. I should have loaded two, but escalators. This is my favorite. Ever since I was a little kid, I always had a fear of escalators because of a bad episode of Rescue 911. Did I say bad episode of Rescue 911? They were all bad. Pretty horrific. William Shatner, the host of that show. If you remember that show, you're showing your age like I am. So we're heading down into the Peachtree stop, the Peachtree Center. That's the first set of escalators. Here's the second. I want to point out that they filmed part of a movie here 40 years ago. Check this out, it's a long way down. Whoa! It actually might be in this very set of escalators. I think it was. Who remembers The Heavenly Kid? 1985. They filmed the heaven scenes, the subway scenes right here in the Marta. This might look familiar to you if you like that movie. Not too busy this morning on this Sunday morning. I want to shout out to everyone I saw at Days of the Dead this weekend, the horror convention. Thank you for making my weekend great. That was a great weekend. All right, made it to the bottom. It did take a while. Looks like I'm going to reload my car right over there at that station. Did I say card? Card. Added 2 trips to my Marta card. I might only need 1, but I got 2. I can use this for my next trip to Atlanta. I always forget to do that too. I've got a lot of Marta cards at home. Had to get a new one. You just tap, just like the New York subway, the Metro. You just tap your card right here. Doors open. Also, the New Jersey Turnpike is like that as well. Welcome to Purgatory from The Heavenly Kid. This is one of the opening shots. Trains coming this way. The people that had just perished getting off the subways, the Marta. If you remember that movie, here you go. It's very futuristic looking. The Marta opened in around 1980, and it was used at that time in a lot of futuristic movies. It was an obvious choice for a filming location. So today's journey, $5 for 2 trips, $2.50 each way. So I could have only paid $2.50, but you never know. I might get off at the wrong place and need to get back on. And we are heading southbound. The airport is southbound. It says it right there, airport. So we'll be waiting for a train to come from this way. So my flight doesn't board till 3:53. As you can see, I'm flying back to Orlando. I chose to fly out of Orlando because it was more cost effective, even with the gas and all that. So I've got a bit of a journey to drive back home to the Tampa Bay area when I get home. Oh, look at this. Guess we're only using one track today. Train came a little early. So I exited at the East Point station. This is where I'm getting off. I'm gonna climb up here and see if I can call an Uber. Pretty fast. Looks like an Uber is gonna cost me 11 bucks. Not too bad. But I have some Uber cash credit from using my American Express card to travel so much. That's a nice little perk. All right, just connected with an Uber. Looks like it's gonna take them 18 minutes to get here. And my pickup spot is actually out here on the other side of the station on Main Street here in East Point. There's a nice restaurant over there called Biscuits. I'm assuming it's nice. It looks nice. Not too busy out here in East Point on this Sunday morning. Regions Bank. That's a very different looking Regions Bank. I like it. Ooh, train's down here. Look at this. We're right over the tracks. I don't know what that was, but it scared me. So I already purchased my tickets to the Delta Flight Museum online. Only $7.50 for adults. That's pretty extraordinary. Got a bike through coming through. So I've been waiting for my Uber for 20 minutes. They're now 1.5 miles away. Took a little longer than expected. All right, folks, I just got dropped off. I have made it to the Delta Air Museum. Look at this, giant 747. So I just learned that the main portion of this museum is closed for renovation. The security guard at the gate let us know, but the 747 portion is open. So that's all we're able to do today. These are the historic hangars over here for Delta Airlines. Keep climbing together. Check that out. And over here, there's a Mini Cooper that's been made out to be an airplane. That's neat. Look at that. It's got wings. Wonder if it really flies. I doubt it. It's also got the tail fin. That's really neat. Oh, there you go. There's a picture right there. All right, I'm going to go and climb aboard, see what's going on here. And way out in the distance, you can see the air traffic control tower at the airport. I'll be going over there in a little bit. So I made sure to research before I got out here. They will allow me to bring my bags inside. And I almost missed this historic sign. Delta Airlines began in 1924 as a crop dusting company based first in Macon, Georgia, and then Monroe, Louisiana. C.E. Woolman led a group of investors in buying the company in 1928 and renamed it Delta Air Service. Passenger service began between Dallas, Texas and Jackson, Mississippi on June 17, 1929. A year later, Delta expanded passengers service east to Atlanta and west to Fort Worth. In 1941, Delta established its corporate headquarters in Atlanta, and the company incorporated as Delta Airlines in 1945. Under Woolman and successive leaders, the company grew through a series of mergers that expanded routes across the U.S. and around the world. As one of the Georgia's most famous corporate residents, Delta played a crucial role in Atlanta's rise as an international city and commercial hub. Very nice. I remember taking a 747, my first big trip with my family when I was a kid, to California across the country. A giant airplane. It was a 747 and it was TWA. Who remembers that old airline? And the in-flight movie was Forrest Gump. That was back in 1994. 2021 Employee Appreciation Day, dedicated to the employees of Delta Airlines, February 12th, 2021. Resilience is our nature. It has always been, and the COVID-19 global pandemic reminded us once again, it's the Delta difference that makes us rise above any challenge, no matter the magnitude. It says right here, keep climbing together. It's the sign. Oh, okay. The sign for the sign. Holy cow, you don't realize how big these planes are until you walk right underneath one. I'm looking forward to doing that. It looks like we enter somewhere on the other side. Looks like there's people up there already enjoying the museum. I'm gonna walk underneath the airplane right now. That's pretty crazy. I've never been so close to an airplane this large. A lot of military planes, but this thing's freaking huge. Look at the landing gear. I've always wondered what this looked like. Whoa, I always think of Commando, Schwarzenegger coming out of the landing gear here. Oh my gosh. That's a big hole. Look up in there. Hello. Goes down that way. Wow. This is pretty neat. Okay, so there's like a ramp over here. And there's the main building. Over there, there's another plane. We'll check that out too. Looks like we can check that one out. Holy cow. Look at this jet. Oh, I like how they did this. So we're gonna walk right up in here. That's incredible. Can you imagine? That's pretty amazing. That thing is huge. Hello. It doesn't echo. I mean, look at this. Take a screenshot, make it last longer. Looks like we go right inside this door. Let's do it. Okay, this is just the elevator to the top. I've got my QR code ready on my phone. Only $7.50. Perhaps it's discounted because the rest of the museum's not open. Almost forgot we're climbing up into an airplane. Wow. That's neato. Delta. One of my favorite airlines to fly. I like Delta and I like JetBlue. I think those are my two favorite. No food or drink beyond this point. Alright. So I just went through my security screening. I'm leaving my bag over here. And I'm entering the plane. And I hear Elton John playing. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Wow! I wonder if they filmed any movies on this. It's a great filming set. Really opens up back here. Oh, we can go up there too. Rocket Man. It says right here, stairway. Where is the famous spiral staircase? Only the 747, 100, and 200 models had spiral staircases. Starting with the 747, 300 in the 1980s, a straight stairway was installed to provide a more efficient layout. The 747, 400 has a second stairway in the rear of the aircraft that leads to the crew rest. So this is the 747 400. I kind of think we should go upstairs first. Let's do it. Heading up. Oh wow, look at this. This is neat. Little bird's eye view. The rest of the plane. We've got pictures going on here. Some very vintage pictures. And look behind me. This must be first class. All the way down to the cockpit. Look at these. These are cool seats. I would love to fly Delta 1 someday. These are the seats that lay down? Wow. I'm dreaming now. If I ever fly overseas, I heard it's important to fly with Delta. And I have done that before. The first time I flew to Europe, I flew with Delta. It's a pretty comfortable ride. Just gonna let the camera roll. Pilot rest. Unlike the larger crew, rest in the attic of the main deck. Okay, so this is the pilot's quarters. A little dark in there. Got a little bed. Also, there's a lavatory over here. Decent size. And here you go, the cockpit. Kind of looks like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. That's what it reminds me of. Look at all these switches. Fun fact, I have flown a plane before. I was in Air Force ROTC at the University of South Florida, and I did a Civil Air Patrol flight, and I've actually got flight miles. I did a couple touch and goes across several airports in Florida. Spent a whole day flying and landing at several airports. Fun fact. These look like flight logs up here. Hey, where's the black box? Where do they keep the black box? Oh, there's a chair over here too. Taxiing. If you look out of the right cockpit window at the 757-200, you can get a sense of how high the 747's flight deck site sits above the ground. Yeah, there you go. The 757-200 over there. Yeah, we're pretty high. That's 28.5 feet, 8.7 meters. That's how tall we are. I don't see the black box, but I see a phone. Look at these controls. Straight out of an 80s movie. I'm not so sure when they created this airplane, but maybe we'll find out before the end of the tour. What's really neat is I can just pretty much try out anything I want. Look, I could sit here. Also, I could have sat in the pilot seat. Not the main pilot seat, one of them. Alright, now this is how you fly. I wish every plane had one of these. Kick back, relax. Alright, going back downstairs. Back to coach. In appreciation of the Delta Airlines Foundation, presenting sponsor of the 747 Experience in Plaza, March 28th, 2017. Sounds like there's a video going down here. This is the flight attendant breezeway, this little hallway here. There's more food carts, cabinets. Also, ooh, this might be, is this the elevator? Oh, I think I saw this in Executive Decision. I think this is the elevator. It's the dumbwaiter. The door below opened to an elevator shaft equipped with a dumbwaiter that provided a way to flight attendants to move surface carts between the upper and main deck. But I definitely remember Kurt Russell going up and down one of these in Executive Decision. Who remembers that movie? That's a great movie. Stay sanitized. Also, Halle Berry in that movie. Steven Seagal. Spoiler alert, Steven Seagal is barely in that movie.
Colonel! We're not gonna make it! You are!
So they have glass here on the floor so you can see what's going on. Whoa. Okay, now I'm freaked out because this is normally where the seats are. I'm about to take a plane. I didn't realize that the exhaust system is like literally right below your feet. Oh wow, I didn't even see that. Beneath your feet, not only bags are stored underneath the main deck of a 747-400, in this space you can see four important systems of the aircraft. The large ducts, plenum and air filters help distribute air throughout the aircraft to maintain clean air and the right air pressure for passengers and crew. So this is just for oxygen. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I thought it was like the exhaust system for the airplane. That's really cool. Pretty neat. I didn't know it was that giant of a system, but it makes sense because you gotta keep the air pressure if you're flying so many thousand feet in the air. Look at the ceiling. Whoa. Oh yeah, there's a lot going on in here. Look at this.
We love this. My husband and my son both work for Delta, and so my grandson is so excited about coming here and watching this.
This is really so crazy.
I think that's when they were moving the plane in, so I think this was 2017. Yeah, it's a pretty big plane. Right here in this spot. Alright, here's a look back the way we came. We were just up there. There's the deck, the observation deck. We'll go out there in a moment. Right here is a nice little timeline for Delta. 1900s, December 17th, the Wright Flyer. Wilbur and Orville Wright. Wilbur Wright, born right in my hometown in Indiana. The flight lasted only 12 seconds and covered a distance of just 121 feet. And there they are. I think that's Wilbur on the plane there. Could be Orville. 1923, May 3rd, first transcontinental nonstop flight. 1926, first flight takes off from Candler Field, which will eventually become Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport. There's a nice little picture there. And very important, 1930, Frank Whittle, British inventor, invents the jet engine. And in 1929, Delta Airlines starts passenger service with the Travel Air S6000 D5. Fast forward a little bit. 1970s, 1976, April 25th, Pan Am is the first airline to fly the Boeing 747, a shorter version of the 747-100 built for longer flights. Look at the space shuttle on top of the 747. And in 2006, Boeing tests the 747-400 Dreamlifter used to carry 787 airframe components to the Boeing plant in Everett, Washington. I used to actually have some distant cousins that worked at the Everett, Washington Boeing plant. They live out in Seattle. Need to visit them someday. Here you go, 2017. Ship 6301 goes on display at the Delta Flight Museum in Atlanta, Georgia. So we are aboard Ship 6301. They've got one of the doors over here sealed off, passenger exit door. If you ever wondered what the components look like. Also, I think I see, oh yeah, there's the big raft that expands. Okay, so we're back here at the tail of the plane. Looks like there's another, okay, this is the staircase they were talking about to go up to the top. I'm just gonna point my camera up there. Oh yeah, can't go up there. That's the way we came back. So this is like where the tail fin is. This is called the pressure dome. Pressure dome, behind a layer of insulation, the aluminum pressure dome, P-dome, of aft pressure bulkhead helps contain the flexing of the aircraft's fuselage as the pressure on the interior becomes greater than the outside air pressure. The spherical shape more effectively deals with the pressure than the conical shape the aircraft's tail tapers to. On the 747-400, the circumference of the P-dome measures approximately 60 feet. Wow, I didn't know. Just learned something. That's pretty impressive. So this is between the back of the plane and the tail fin. It's really cool to see this all gutted. So this is where everything would be hanging over your head. Here you go. This is what normally is going on here. So everything has been removed right here. Some more glass here. Oh, this is storage down here. Luggage storage. Take a look. And they do have a little merchandise booth over here. Little Delta t-shirts and keychains and more stuff. We're gonna go outside. Are you guys ready? Observation deck time. It's called the Wing Walk. There's something on the wing. Check this out. Wow. Yeah, gigantic plane. And down here, take a closer look once we get down. We have some of the luggage carts you can look at. Impressive airplane. It's a nice view of the historic Delta Airlines hangars as well. And there's the airport out there. Where I'm going. There goes Delta. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I'll have to come back once the rest of the museum opens up. They said it opens April 7th, so there you go. Still much ahead. Hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. There's a Delta Airlines flight taking off right over there. See if we can get them going. It's a long runway. Oh, I think they may have landed actually. Whoops. So we haven't seen the lower front of the plane. This is where many of the seats are still intact. Check this out. Making our way through. We've got 3 seats on this side, 4 in the middle, 2 on the other side, and then it breaks here. Another area for the flight attendants. And then we got more first class. More of these fancy seats. And then it goes all the way over here. It's the coat closet. Even in aircraft as large as the 747, no space could be wasted. The very front of the ship 6301 was used as a coat closet for Delta One passengers. Just beyond the coat closet resides a powerful radar antenna that is protected by the fiberglass radome at the very front of the ship. Okay, yeah. Coat closet. See, like the luggage rack here. Still works. I'll be putting my bag up in one of those soon. Buckle up. Just take a seat. Oh yeah, we got the screens here. Got leg room. Not too bad. One reason why I like Delta is because I always have plenty of leg room, and the seats are naturally padded, more comfortable. I'm saying, never have an issue. No matter if I fly economically, if I just get a regular seat, it's always pretty comfy. I'm a bigger guy. Now, I'm taking Frontier today. It's one of my least favorites. I don't always get the privilege of picking the airline because not all airlines go to the same cities, fly at the same time. So when people say, why didn't you fly this airline? Why didn't you fly that? Well, you don't really have a choice. You pay for the ticket that gets you where you're going, whether it's logistically, for money, whatever. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. If I had the option to fly Delta every time, or JetBlue, I would. Alright, so we've come to the tail end, not literally, of the tour. That was really fun. Oh, there's some buttons over here. I wonder what they do. Yeah. Delta. Okay. Security guard was watching my bag right there in the corner. That's pretty safe, right? Yeah. Oh look, there's a plane landing. Check it out. Let me see if I can zoom in. Probably just gonna miss it touching the ground. It's Delta. That's cool. Yeah. And those tanks. Here you go. The plaque. I like how they put this right here so you can get it all into frame. 747 Boeing 400 ships 6301. Some more fun facts for you here. It says that the wingspan is 213 feet, the length 231 feet, and 70 inches. It's a big plane. Also, it's called, nickname right there, Queen of the Skies. It's one of the most popular and recognizable aircraft in the world today. When the first 747 made its first commercial flight for Pan Am in 1970, critics thought the aircraft would soon become obsolete, as designers believe the supersonic aircraft would be taking over the skies. However, the 4-engine jumbo jet revolutionized the industry with the exceptional long-haul flight capacity and sheer size, nearly 3 times larger than the largest jet flying at that time. The improved 747-400 featured a new glass cockpit, tail fuel tanks, advanced engines, and a new interior. And it looks like this one was created in 2002. It is 1:30. My flight boards around 3:50. I'm gonna get going in just a few minutes. I'm debating whether or not just calling an Uber to take me right to the airport, save time. Typically, TSA goes pretty quick at the Atlanta airport, so I'm not too worried about that, but I just want to be sure and get over the airport a couple hours early. We got one more plane over here. Big plane, but not as big as the one we were just on. This is the McDonnell Douglas DC-9 ship 9880. This ship was built in 1975. The aircraft became part of the Delta fleet when Northwest Airlines merged with Delta in October 29, 2008, and was painted in Delta in spring 2009. I've actually flown on a DC-9 before with Delta, so it's cool to actually be outside walking around the plane. It's pretty neat. And I can just walk right up and touch it. No one's stopping me. That's pretty neat that you can do that here. I'm anxious to see the next time I come back here, whenever it is, anxious to see what's in there in the historic air hangars. There's also an old Delta plane over here. Love to look at. Last but not least here, the luggage carts. I promised you to look at those. Right on the other side of the plane. A plane, boss. The plane. Just realized I could have exited that way too. I didn't have to go back for my luggage. Can't get over how massive this landing gear is. Like, holy cow. Batman. Right underneath the belly of the plane. It's always amazing how quick they take your luggage and put it on your plane. Even when there's flight delays, even when you have a layover, a short transfer. Let's face it, every now and then, oh, your baggage didn't make it, and you have to wait at the airport or come back. That's why I always fly light. When I'm traveling, it's just me and my backpack. Travel light, travel right. At least for me. That's not the same for everyone. That's where we were, right up there. All right, folks, it's time to call my Uber. As I'm waiting here for my Uber, I noticed that FedEx Express right across the street. Look at all those FedEx airplanes. Oh, look at this. We also got UPS in the house. So I've got my charger pack hooked up, wired in my backpack. Check this out. So there's a little port right here where I can plug in my phone charger and charge my phone. All hooked up right there, and I am charging. This will also charge my camera if I need to. Pretty neat, huh? Technology. All right, this is my Uber. Right there. Cool. And I've already been dropped off. That was only a 5-minute drive. Welcome to the Hartford-Jackson International Airport, Flying Frontier. My terminal is T, so that'll be the first terminal as once I go through TSA. I'm pretty sure it's T. The TSA line looks pretty busy, so I'm going to be sure to use the restroom before I get in a long line. This big atrium here always reminds me of a mall. I think they may have filmed, oh, I have to look at that. They may have filmed some scenes of some movies in here. All right, so that took me an hour. The line I got in for TSA was specifically slower than the other ones, but right at the last minute, more TSA agents came up and opened more checkpoints. So it is 2:58. My flight boards around 3:50. I got plenty of time. Thankfully I got here when I did, and looking out the window on my way to my terminal, I spotted a bunch of Delta, of course. It's a big plane, not a 747 though. So out there would be Terminal A. So we're in T, that would be A, and then B, C, D accordingly. That way you can take the train, which is underneath us, or in some checkpoints they have a bus that takes you right through the airport, just like at LAX. So what I like to do as soon as I get through TSA is to go physically lay my eyes upon, I don't know how else you would do it, lay my eyes upon my gate, just to make sure it hasn't changed, just to make sure I know where it is. Do that first. Ooh, they have a Grindhouse Killer Burgers in here. A year ago, this Sunday, I went to Grindhouse Burgers, one of their locations in Atlanta. Maybe I'll do that today again. All right, so here's my gate. Boarding in 53 minutes. Grindhouse Killer Burgers has a quick touchscreen order system. Ooh, decisions. Euro style burger. What's that? Double? Oh, it's Impossible. Oh no, beef. Well done. I'll just do well done. Swiss cheese. Okay. No, okay. Cool. Add to cart. So I went to Grindhouse Burgers on Days of the Dead weekend last year. There's many locations in Atlanta. I went to the one nearest, Dragon Con. Cool that they have robots here because they had a bunch of robots at that Grindhouse Burger. Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Wait a little bit for my Euro Burger. Check this out. Looks amazing. Gonna be honest, a little smaller than I thought it would be. But that's okay. That's alright. That is a great burger. That's one of the best burgers I've had in a long time. Very juicy. Let's put it this way. That burger was so good, I didn't even put ketchup on it. I don't know the last time that happened. Okay, there's my airplane. I will be flying to MCO, Orlando. That's where I flew out of. As soon as I get up in the air, it's just about an hour flight. So I don't really want to film on my flight. I don't really need to. I'll see you once I get there. I'm about ready to board. And I'm back in Florida. Nice short flight. I watched Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a movie I bought years ago. It was a short movie, short flight. Actually finished it up. I started it on my way up to Atlanta. Got Magic of Disney over there. Ooh, escalator. This one's a little shorter than the last one. Oh look, it's Walt Disney World. There's Spaceship Earth. There's the Tree of Life. So I'm taking the shuttle, as I normally do, to the long-term parking lot. I know the pathway like the back of my hand. South Concourse parking lot. You can access that shuttle right here in Terminal B. If you're in the North parking concourse, long-term parking north, you go to Terminal A and get on the shuttle bus there. All right, guys, it's been a long day. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got almost 2 hours drive home, edit the video. I've got to clock in at my regular job tomorrow morning, but soon I have vacation, and I've got more stuff planned, so I'll be getting on a plane very soon. I just missed that shuttle. That was me. Oh, that's all right. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. And another shuttle ahead for me. Hopefully. I think I see one coming now. Oh no, wait, false alarm. It'll come. All right, bye-bye, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. There it is, right there. See you soon. See you real soon. There's a Delta Airlines plane right out there on the runway. Past the parking lot. All right, good night, everyone. See you soon. A lot of videos coming soon, very soon. Bye-bye.